talking about podcast. We're talking about Chalamet and their podcast. A podcast. I noticed you called him Chalamet. You forgot the N at the end, Jordan.
I did forget the N at the end of his name, didn't I?
Yeah, Jordan said it wrong.
There's nothing like watching the media junket for Dune Part 2, in which they've really just collected all of the most beautiful, talented, young actors in Hollywood. And they're just going around the world pitching this lovely film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for this. It's the inaugural venture of the Two Chunks Movie Club.
I must be.
Oh, you have
absolutely
to
crazy because I'm just saying I know after 7.5 years of doing this podcast that we didn't just like launch into it without any of us saying our names and totally do a brand new flow.
Yeah, he just kind of started to run away with it. So
he just was like, "This is my podcast, and I'll play with it now."
I thought I could get away with it, but I guess I'll have to keep all around.
I'm a meddling kid, dude. I'm a meddling kid. I'll never let you do something like that.
That's fine.
Jordan. I'm Jordan.
That one's Jordan.
Now, I was just going to say something weird.
No, it just sucks that we've gone so much podcast now and nobody's taken a second to inspire the listeners and help them remind them what
without the
what life is worth living for. Listen, the finest gift you can give to any fisherman is to put a good fish back. And who knows if the fish that you caught isn't someone else's gift to you.
Stop talking about fish.
I think that's beautiful.
Nobody cares about fish.
Yeah, but maybe
on record right now to say that nobody.
Yeah,
there's nobody that cares about fish.
But maybe if you cast your line in the water, you leave it there, you pull something out. What might you find? A reason to keep on living.
Oh my God!
You might even find some inspiration in the water.
You might even find some inspiration. I'm Carter.
I'm Googling.
That's
how long
the one who
to
tried to take over things. That was me, and may the knife chip and shatter. May thy knife chip and shatter.
Thank you for being concise.
I don't feel better after hearing that. I don't feel inspired. I don't feel like there's a new well of energy inside me.
Just to clarify, and you do after the thing about fish?
Maybe the fish you catch is somebody else's gift to you. That's beautiful.
It isn't.
Like the gift of the
You
water.
can say that about literally anything you find anywhere.
Huh. It's almost like that's the reason I shared that quote. It's almost like there's a little sunshine if you just look past the clouds.
I love when I can hear the bridge get finished building in your brain where you're like, that's the thing. Okay, I got it. Yes, thank you. The final brick slides into place.
Just had the ribbon cutting ceremony for that idea right now. Yes. And welcome to my plan.
Just the rest of it has been stalling and then finally. Thank you so much. I got it.
Please hold your applause. Anyways,
now, do you want to
Dune
talk,
Part
Carter?
2. Yeah.
Yeah, Carter, you can do it now.
It's kind of lost some of its, it seemed to me, Doge, that the goal was to inspire, and I've lost some of that. But that's on me for just jumping in without allowing us to do our normal thing after.
I can send you this link to a Southern Living article that says 85 fishing quotes that'll make you want to cast a rod.
Oh, first of all, ew. Second of all, using that from now on.
85. Southern Living, yeah. Always the most inspirational.
Yeah, there's a lot. I've only done like 4 of them, so we got 81 more weeks of
Thank
this.
Thank goodness, because every one is good and not bad.
Our inaugural Two Chunks movie club. Now, granted, we've done Barbenheimer. I'm a little bit sick.
Barbenheimer.
That mountain.
Dude, I'm a little bit
mountain
sick.
cedar or whatever it is. We've had people come see movies with us, but it was not yet under the name the Two Chunks Movie Club, which is a new thing for this year. And I'll tell you a little bit what happens in that Two Chunks Movie Club. We announced it in an episode prior, but our inaugural outing will be to see Dune Part 2. Interesting thing about this is the time that we will see it with the Two Chunks Movie Club is after the time that I'll see it with a group of people that we got tickets several weeks ago. This means that for 6 hours of my day, I will be soaking in the sand and the ornithopters.
Sand, notoriously difficult to soak.
But I'm going to try. I think if I give long enough, I'll do that. But super excited for that. Before we play a game with Dune Part 2, which, by the way, how do we feel about Anya Taylor-Joy just kind of showing up at one of these red carpet events? Sneaky.
Pretty sneaky.
Pretty sneaky
to be in this movie and not
She's
tell us
also
about
there.
it until
this
now.
This is like, it really is. I feel like there was some crystal ball, or there was something of like, we were handing out awards, talking about like, we might have even done a Mount Rushmore of young actors and actresses that we're the most excited for.
Yeah.
Someday. And I'm pretty sure Timmy was there. I'm sure Pugh was there. Maybe Zendaya. But like to have all of these people together, it's just, it can't be bad. Early reviews are and it's great. People love it.
I feel like Dune is going to be like the freaks and geeks of movie where like 20 years from now, you're like, oh, they were all in that at the same time.
Movie. Yep. And Christopher Walken. All these kids.
And Christopher Walken. Also in Freaks and Geeks. Yeah. So it's just like that. Christopher have you ever seen the same movie 2 times in a day?
Yes.
At the movie theater?
Yeah.
What was it before this?
It was a Marvel movie. I can't remember which one it was. But it was definitely a situation like this. And it was like, man, I want to see it with all of these people, so I will. Too bad. Like, unfortunately, they can't all be at the same theater. So I'm just going to do this. And I think it was different theaters. So it was like, go see it, bounce, drive to the next one, see it again. It was early Marvel. I think it was it might have been Civil War. I think I saw Civil War twice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one to see 2 times.
Yeah, for sure.
In 2007, I saw Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer 2 times in the same day, which was tough. It wasn't good the first time, and the second time was for a friend's birthday party. And I got to the birthday party, and everybody's like, dude, can't wait to see Fantastic Four 2. We're going to love it. It's going to be awesome. And I didn't have the heart to tell anybody how much of a big stinker that movie was.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about the casting?
No.
Answer both questions simultaneously. How do you feel about the casting? It's official now.
Fantastic Four Silver Surfer?
No,
for Marvel, Fantastic Four.
Good. Thumbs up for me.
Yeah.
I like it all. I think it's good. Pedro feels a little transparently trying to get another RDJ. Pedro feels a little bit like, oh, we lost our cool 50-year-old. We need a cool 50-year-old now. I just do not see him as Reed, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think he can do it. But yeah,
What's the age gap between him and Vanessa Kirby?
It's probably 16 years. No, there's no way. I bet it's 10 years.
See, I would have
Vanessa Kirby is 35.
Well, Pedro's not 50, is he?
Pedro Pascal is 48.
13 years.
That's bigger than I would like between the two.
Sue and Reed.
But
yeah.
Also, I'm not looking at these two gorgeous adults and being like, ew.
No.
They can't kiss.
They can't be married.
Yeah. They can't do that. Joey Quinn, all up in here. Amazing.
I'm excited to see Joseph Quinn in something again. And I can't remember his name right now. I always refer to him as Cousin from The Bear. Right? What is his name? Eben Moss
Backrack.
The dude is like, if you've watched season 2, especially of The Bear, I don't see how you could ever think he can't do anything. The dude is like...
Dude, he is extremely good casting for Ben Grimm, The Thing.
I'm very
excited about that.
Unbelievably rootable as an actor. Like,
yeah.
I just feel like anytime I see his face, I'm just like, you can do it, pal.
Which is perfect, right?
You got it. Just believe in yourself. Yeah. So I think, not that we'll see his face, I guess, very much, but dude, what if they do the Marvel helmet thing, but for his actual face inside of Ben Grimm's head?
Just rocks all around.
Yes. Wouldn't that be the most current MCU thing ever to still find a way to show the thing's actual actor?
Yeah. Guys, I'm literally rocks right now.
The rocks are right behind me, aren't they?
Rittery.
Hey guys, I'm at Widowy Walks right now.
Widowy Walks.
Oh my God.
Widowy Walks.
The Human Torch is
Where's my Fantastic Four?
to the battle right now.
Way to go, 4. Or I guess I should say 3. I'm talking to myself.
Looks like we're not the Fantastic Four anymore.
Ooh. If it wasn't
Cautiously
the Fantastic
optimistic. I think it being a period piece set in the 60s is 100% like this needs to feel like the Jetsons in terms of just like a vibe. I think that is
retrofuturism out the wazoo.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely the way to go for this. Also, Herbie's in the poster. Their little robot, which he's like
fully loaded?
leaning into that. Like, yeah, dude. And Lindsay Lohan's there. It's going to be amazing. But it's just leaning into the like cheesy retro future vibe, I think is absolutely essential to differentiate this from other Fantastic Fours we've seen.
If there's not a scene where that robot comes out to that song from Rocky IV with the robot butler, then I don't want it.
By that point, Disney might own Rocky. So who knows?
Do you remember when Disney movies, like Disney's name being attached, used to mean quality? Anyway, moving on.
Dang
indeed. I also saw a movie more than once in theaters in the same day. Nobody asked me, but I guess I'll answer it anyway.
I was gonna. What
do you sure seems like it's been a while now, but yeah, you do whatever you
Mighty Ducks 2?
No. It was Inception. I actually saw Inception 3 times in the same weekend, twice in the same day.
Whoa.
When that movie came
what's the
out,
verdict? Did you figure it out?
Shattered my
Is he
little
dreaming?
brain, dude. I think I was 16 and I was just not ready for that. It just broke me. I watched that movie and I was like, oh, dude, movies can mean stuff.
What happened? Did his top fall over?
That my first time watching Inception, I felt the thing everybody always talks about with Christopher Nolan movies, where they're like, I'm a genius.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's real good at tricking you that way.
He really is.
Inception was one of those like 3 or 4 movies that felt like it took such a leap in terms of like special effects. I felt that way about The Matrix. To be honest, I felt that way about when Transformers came out.
Dude, the CG in the first Transformers is crazy.
For the first Transformers, it looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? And then, because you would also see all the articles about like how long it took to, like one Optimus Prime transformation took 4 years to animate. Yeah, and then Inception too. Just the world bending like that. That's why like now in like Multiverse of Madness, when the world's folding in on itself and stuff, you're like, I mean, yeah, we've seen it done.
Yeah, that's not that impressive.
That's not that impressive. Two Chunks Movie Club. So here's what we do. As we end, well, we're not ending March. We're going to give you an entire month to vote for our next movie to all go see together. Haven't even started March. We're done with February. So February's choice for our March watch wasn't really a choice at all because of Dune Part 2. Duh. Right? There'll be those times when, hey, it's like the biggest movie release out there. We're just going to go see it. Sorry about you. But now we're going to give you an entire month to vote on when to go see this movie. Also, that means you have an entire month if you're not yet a part of the Patreon and you want to find out where everybody's going to come hang out with this crew. You got time to jump in there, get your vote, maybe get an extra vote, and then come watch a movie with us. But I have 5 for us. 5 movies. So we'll announce for the Two Chunks Movie Club the 5 nominees for the movie that you can vote on for all of us to go see together in April. We ready?
Yes.
First, releasing April 5th, Dev Patel.
That's my 30th birthday.
That's your 30th birthday.
That's when I become a 30 boy.
Finally, the whole dynamic of this podcast will change. Once y'all join me.
Yeah.
It'll
start
be
talking
different.
about Roth and all of his IRAs that we can have.
Yeah. Talk about the IRAs. Talk about the... Dev Patel stars in and directs an action movie, Monkey Man. Now, I've seen this trailer. What is the IP of Monkey Man? Is this an original vibe or is this based off of something completely different?
No, I think it's totally original.
It's totally worth a watch. I love Dev Patel. It feels like he kind of stays in this semi-indie vibe of anything that he does. Like, it feels like the last thing that he did, because wasn't he in Green Knight?
Mm-hmm.
I never saw that.
I didn't either. I really want
Was it-
to.
Yeah, I think I still want to see it, but it was so polarizing in terms of what people were saying about it. But it looks like Monkey Man kind of feels like a superhero movie.
It feels like John Wick to me in terms
Very
of
much.
like, just like the brutal, hyper stylized action movie that I think John Wick has reinvigorated.
Well, I was just looking up to see if, because there's a video game coming out called Black Myth Wukong that is a fighting game that is also about somebody who is like part monkey that I believe is based off of Chinese mythology, and kind of it's the same thing that inspired, because aren't there little like monkey fellas in Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of inspired by similar things. And so I was looking to see if this is the thing. Turns out Dev Patel's movie is inspired by a deity in Hinduism, not the Chinese mythology that inspired Black Myth Wukong. So turns out there's some crossover monkey fella vibes.
Everybody got monkeys.
Everybody's got monkeys.
Maybe the great monkey beyond all of us speaks to different people at different times.
Dang.
Could be.
It's not the first time I've thought that.
Just Donkey Kong smacking giant bongos, dude.
He's finally ready to become a religious figure.
DK.
Oh.
Donkey Kong.
Jordan Peele producing. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
It is an original story and script written with those that wrote Master and Commander, which somebody told me I really need to see that. I still have not seen that from many moons ago.
Wow.
But it looks great. Dev Patel was one of those rumored guys that might be the next James Bond. And so everyone's like, he's not going to be the next James Bond, but he's going to be Monkey Man. But it's kind of that vibe too. So I'm excited.
Dude, I really like Dev Patel, and I feel like Dev Patel cannot, for the life of him, get in a movie that does well at the box office.
Right. It's tough. It's
he's
tough.
cool,
Monkey
so-
Man. One of the 5. Civil War. This is a movie we've talked about before. I have someone who is in this movie for box office ball because I think it'll do well. It's terrifying. It's going to be released April 12th. It'll be in IMAX as well, which never hurts if you're trying to get box office ball money.
2.5 hour.
Because we just paid up for Dune. I paid to see Dune twice, and
Jeez.
Can I
Man of
pay
means
rent?
over here?
can I pay rent now? I don't know. It's close.
No.
Civil War.
Can I
is
tell you my
like
thoughts about
A24
Civil War?
Tell me, Dot. Tell me,
It
Dot.
feels cheap. It feels like such low-hanging fruit. It feels incredibly cheap, and I can't see it ending in any way other than feeling pretty trite. You know what I mean? Because like, how do
Sure.
you? I don't know. I feel like it's going to completely lack any nuance that people would be expecting or hoping for from that particular movie at this particular point in time, and it feels so like it's the drama movie equivalent of a Dane Cook joke, where it's just there to shock you.
Wow.
It is a movie about a modern U.S. Civil War directed by a Brit and
Sure.
written by a Brit, which you can tell
Sure.
if you watch the trailer and see what the division of the states are. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
think so, pal.
Right.
I don't think that's how it would
Yeah.
go.
Do you think do you think that he's gonna like reverse Boston Tea Party it and come in and like England saves the day?
That
And
would
it's
be
like the king,
hilarious.
and he's like, you shouldn't fight each other. It's
Just
better to be
propaganda.
friends.
I
That would
love
be
it.
pretty funny. And it's still Jonathan Groff from Hamilton.
Meghan Markle's in the movie. Alex Garland. So here's what's basically the roulette wheel of all this. The what's the game when you just spin the gun? Yeah,
Russian roulette?
Russian roulette.
Russian roulette. Because he's done Ex Machina with A24. He's done Annihilation. And then he's done Men, which Men is the single worst movie I've seen in the last decade because it was so uppity. And so it's just like, oh no. Oh no. Like
Which
this
version
could
of
be
him are we
really.
getting?
Yeah. What iteration of him are we getting? So we'll see. I have no idea, but I think it's going to be, I mean, it's going to make the news. It's going to be like that Dune popcorn bucket that everyone's just going to be like, man, this is
Yeah.
awful, but it's getting press.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Does
I
anybody
don't know.
know if our theater has them? I want to avoid them.
I hope so. At this
so I can
point,
steer
I'm
clear,
down.
you know?
I'm down. Next up, April 19th release. We've got 2 releases on this day. First, Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. This is to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen what the Tortured Poets Department is to Dead Poets Society. Like they feel like the same.
Sound like the same thing.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare can guarantee that this boy who like messes stuff up all the time and mixes names in his head will hardly ever call this the right thing unless he's reading it. But Henry Cavill is out there doing stuff, and I'm totally down for that. We knew the moment that he started to jump into some other roles, especially when we went through our Mission Impossible series. I love him.
Is
love
Charlie
him as the
Hunnam in
Witcher.
it?
Yeah.
No.
I just feel like a movie called that has to have Charlie Hunnam in it.
I know. I don't see him here. But
It's got to have
looks
that
great.
one song by the Dropkick Murphys in it. That's
Oh,
like the theme, the
for
opening credits of
sure,
the
dude.
movie. Yep.
The Departed song.
Based upon
Yep.
recently declassified files of the British War Department and inspired by true events. Action comedy that tells the story of the first ever Special Forces organization formed during World War II by Prime Minister Winston Churchill and a small group of military officials. Fun. I'm always down
Who's
for
playing
something
Churchill?
like that. Let me go see.
Dude, it's Zendaya.
Tom Cruise. Wow. No, I'm kidding. Who is playing Winston Churchill? Alan Ritchson is in everything
Yeah.
these days.
Yes,
Do you know who that is?
dude. He's everywhere. He's just
I
the
like
biggest
him.
boy that ever lived. He's like 6'11" or something. He's
the
huge.
next
I think
one
he's
up.
quite that big. He's 7.5
People
feet
are
tall.
asking. People are like, he's a very popular fan casting for Batman in the new DC stuff with James Gunn, and I think that's the silliest thing in the world because it's like in Gotham City, there's this Bat guy who is 6'7", 250, 1% body fat, and he beats people up, and he has real expensive stuff. I don't know who he is, but also Bruce Wayne is a billionaire who is 6'7", 250 pounds, 1% body fat, and doesn't really leave his house very much.
I mean, you just
Seems weird to
described
me.
Batman. Like that is Batman. Anytime,
100%,
especially
but
in the comics, it's always like Bruce Wayne is 0.05% body fat, 6'2", and he can punch through corrugated steel. Who's Batman?
I feel like the plausible
Who could it be?
deniability of Bruce Wayne is completely out the window if Alan Ritchson is
With
playing
every
him.
every
and-
inch you add to his height, it's harder and harder to
Yep.
deny that Bruce
Yep.
Wayne is Batman.
That's why our Pat was great. Because you're like, this
yeah.
dude? This dude?
The next Matt Reeves Batman is the next Batman I will be truly excited about.
Yeah.
But
Did you guys see the stuff that came out this week? One of the concept art designers for Into the Spider-Verse like released a bunch of stills that he had previously prepped for he was pitching and then it kind of got shelved and backburnered a Batman Beyond movie with that same art style.
Wow.
It looks fantastic.
the ink lady from that art she was in
Uh-huh.
the Batman Beyond TV show.
Yep.
She was a big deal for young Jordan, that ink lady.
Interesting.
Big day the first time I saw
Um,
that episode.
Looked at IMDb's cast list, and there is no mention of anybody playing Churchill. So it could be one of those things
Typical.
like how we got like Gary Oldman was president in Oppenheimer, and nobody knew that he
Yeah.
was in this movie kind of stuff. So we'll see. Maybe he'll just reprise. He'll just do it again. Also releasing that day, very different vibe, but this would have been a different vibe up against any other movie. But we have Sasquatch Sunset. It's a
Yeah.
Bleecker Street film. It looks so interesting. It's about a Sasquatch family living in the woods. It premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, and people lost their minds. They thought it was just so like phenomenal. It's
It's
Jesse
just a
Eisenberg,
2-hour
Riley
beef
Keough,
jerky commercial, from what I understand.
kind of.
It's just playing pranks on Sasquatch.
Hilarious, fascinating, peculiar, one-of-a-kind cinematic creation that does not hold back. Somehow quite touching and endearing.
Interesting.
When all is said and done. So there you go. Sasquatch Sunset. We'll see. That's our fourth option there. And then finally, Challengers. That's the tennis movie with Zendaya.
I'd like to talk about Challengers for just a second, if we can.
Okay.
When I saw the trailer for this movie, I had one of those moments where I was just like, movies are dead. I love you, Zendaya. I think you're great. I don't blame you for this, but movies are dead. Movies are dead and Challengers killed them. How is this a film?
Why do you say that?
I've just never been more bored during a trailer in my life.
I just Googled Challengers, and one of the suggested questions is Challengers based on a real story? And the pull quote from an article on peoplemagazine.com. While Challengers isn't based on a true story, the athleticism in the film is very much real.
Oh my God.
Okay, cool. So interesting. So you played tennis with a camera? Interesting. No movie has ever looked more boring to me. It is all the excitement of a biopic.
Yes, thank you.
And
it's not even a biopic.
It's not even a biopic. It's not like it just, nothing has ever looked more boring to me than this. It's going to be 2.5 hours long and it's going to be mostly talking and some tennis. And it's like this, I don't care about this even a little.
I just feel like the pitch for the movie was just like tennis, sex. We cut from tennis. We cut back to sex. We cut back to tennis. Now that's a love triangle. And then the credits.
I'm excited for it.
That's good, man. I'm glad you are.
Carter, what makes you excited for it?
This is the director of Call Me By Your Name. And so it's like, I really enjoyed that. And it's not too different. It's like hot tutor, young boy trying to figure out what his sexuality is. What's he's doing with his life? A peach, huh? It doesn't matter. Like, it's like Bravo stuff to me. Like, I'm totally down to find out what is the drama of the dialectics of like 3 different people that all love each other. I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I'm totally down for it. I think the tennis thing is silly. I think it's very likely going to be about how ultimately the woman has the power and she's manipulating these guys. She doesn't necessarily love either of them, but she's jaded because she was the one who was supposed to be the most popular and have the best career. And now it's just these men. Well, here we go again, men taking over and taking the limelight. And so she's going to take it into her own hands. And who knows, man? I love that kind of stuff. So
I hope it's what
I'm
you
excited
described, because that is not the vibe of the movie that I saw the trailer for.
I think that's exactly what it'll be. I think here's something that's interesting to me, and it feels like there's so many different like measurables in a movie of like how much you trust it when you don't know anything about it. And for me, one of them is an actor. Like Zendaya is not picking things right now that are falling flat. And I don't think it's just because of who she is. And I don't even know if I would count Spider-Man. She just happened to be great for that role. But it's like, man, she seems pretty smart about the decisions that she makes. And so we'll see. Everybody has a flop every now and then. But I think there's too many. Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
But, I hope you're right. You're right. I just, I think the trailer
it's just way more about.
I just had that thought of like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. It's definitely different, but that's our 5th movie. So you'll have 5 movies
she was the voice of Lola Bunny in Space Jam: A New Legacy, so I do like trust her implicitly.
I could have bet $100 that Doge was looking through her IMDb to find her most recent stinker so that he could make that joke.
Should have bet $100.
Should have. Another talk about opportunity, dude.
Lola Bunny was someone for me.
I get that.
Monkey Man, Civil War, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Sasquatch Sunset, and Challengers. Good luck picking between 5 movies that are basically all the same.
So to be clear, you guys are going to pick, you listeners, you get to vote in the poll to pick the movie that we go see as part of the movie club. If you support us on Patreon, you get to vote 2 times. And if you're in the $5 tier Patreon, you get to know where we're going to see this movie. And then for all of you, for all of the Monkey Man's beautiful children, we are going to be releasing this episode, an episode about the movie that we go see for Two Chunks Movie Club right here on the main feed. So vote with that in mind. Vote with what you would like to hear us talk about in mind.
And then ask yourself, would Texas secede from the Union with Florida? Maybe not.
That's not the surprising
Maybe
part.
not.
Let's go to shout announcements. Welcome to shout announcements. That's what this is. It's shout announcements. We need you to do us a favor. It's easy.
Please.
Takes no time at all. You can do it before shout announcements is done if you want to. Open up, preferably the Apple Podcast app if you've got it, but anywhere works.
Can I do the what is it called when
done.
it's the people who are in charge of making the noises for a movie?
Foley.
I'll Foley this for you. Start again.
That's
Jordan.
great. I need you to do us a favor. I need you to open up your Apple Podcast app. Yep.
Whoa.
Or any other app that lets you review podcasts. And give us a little tappy tap. Give us a little typey type even. And
wait, let's see. Can we see if this comes through? I think I can do a good Apple keyboard sound. I've never tried this before. I think I can do it. Tell me if this comes through.
It does. It does.
I don't think
Jordan,
That's what it sounds like when you type and you have the keyboard sounds on.
It sounds like you're trying to do ASMR
Did it work? Did you get shivers?
somewhere.
Yeah.
Review us, rate and review us, please. It would mean the world. It's actually the best way to get the podcast in front of new people outside of just sharing it yourself. Ratings and reviews on podcast aggregators are a great way to move us up in the rankings, to put us in front of new eyes, and to grow the Two Chunks family, to make this podcast house a podcast home. Please. Please. Sorry, please.
Carter, I was having a little trouble understanding the scene you were setting, I think, with that Foley.
I got it.
I think you will.
I got it.
I knew Jordan got it.
Support us on Patreon if you dare. If you're strong enough. If you, like the cool people from Challengers, are a strong enough athlete, support us on Patreon.
If you're nasty.
We got support us on Patreon if you're nasty. We've got two distinct tiers that you can choose
Left
from.
eye,
We've
right
got
eye.
Left eye, right eye. We've got the $3 a month tier, which gives you access to, you get to vote twice in the Two Chunks Movie Club polls. You also get access to our bonus episode feed. And if that's not enough for you, if you still want more from us, then you can support us at the $5 a month tier. You get both of those things plus access to our patrons only Discord.
And the Two Chunks Movie Club.
And the Two Chunks. Well, I already said you get the Two Chunks Movie Club. Everything
And
included
Box
in the
Office
3
Ball.
plus this other thing. And Box Office Ball. That's true. It's a good deal. It's too much. It's too many things to list
Honestly,
here.
we're basically giving it away. Except we're not.
We're gonna get upside down in podcast pretty soon.
We're in the red
if we keep these
in
prices.
a major way.
Please help.
Everything must go.
I'd like to play a quick Dune Part 2 themed game,
Yeah.
if that's okay, here in the second half.
My
For those
hackles
of you
are
that
raised.
haven't heard us play Extra Credit before, this is a game where we take a movie or we take a collection of movie, but we pick 3 actors or actresses. And IMDb has this strange algorithm that is not close to perfect. But we have 4 credits. Anytime you look at an actor or actress, that'll show as soon as you click on them. Their top credits is what they would say. For these guys to win this game, all they need are 9 points, meaning they just need to average 3 of those 4 credits per
Is that
actor.
all we need?
That's all
That's
you
it?
need.
It's
But
just
you can
that
get
easy?
15 because if you get all 4 credits, you get an extra credit, which means you can get 5 points for one actor or actress.
The day we get
We will
15, I'm
use-
quitting the podcast.
That would be amazing. We
That
will
would
use
release
Dune
us, I
Part
think,
2.
from our torment.
Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, Christopher Walken, Lea Seydoux, Stellan Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Sneaky.
Lots of choices. Lots of choices. It's up to you. What 3? Name for me these actors. 3. Who first?
I feel very confident about, I think, 2 of Javier Bardem's.
What are they?
Beautiful and No Country for Old Men.
I think, if I may add a third, I think that I do think that Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides is going to be in there.
Really?
It's a big CGE franchisey movie. It's bad.
I don't think it would be there, but I'm happy to take a swing at it if that's what you'd like, and we can just go.
Wait,
for
is
the
that the
fourth.
one? Wait, which is the one where Ian McShane plays Blackbeard?
I stopped after 3. I haven't seen any since after 3.
There's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides and Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. I think Dead Men Tell No Tales. I think.
That got me. I think Dead Man Tell.
Oh my gosh.
Especially with what you're saying, it's taking your life from you.
I think Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Woo!
Yeah.
Let's put Javier in our back pocket.
Yeah.
That's somebody that we can get 2, maybe 3 on, which is good. That's better than a lot of these folks.
So where do you want to start?
What do we think Tim's top 4 are?
Well, let's not discuss it. Let's just go. If we feel like we can get Tim, let's go.
Okay. I don't know if I think we can get Tim.
Timmy, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Javi Bardem, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, Christopher Walken, Lea Seydoux, Stellan Skarsgård. Did you see Bill Skarsgård is going to be the Crow?
They're doing another Crow?
They're doing
another
a Crow again.
Wow.
Another Crow.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. Those
That's
Skarsgård
interesting.
boys stay working.
Yeah.
I seem to recall that one of the main draws of the first Crow was actual martial arts.
Uh-huh.
Does he have that?
You don't think Billy can?
They're practicing Skarsgård arts.
Dude, it's in his blood. He's also in a new, basically Kill Bill movie where he's doing tons of fightings.
Martial arts is
It's
in
in
Bill
his blood?
Skarsgård's blood?
The Skarsgårds, they can fight. I'm just saying they're fighters. Dude.
Sure. I more just mean that
They're Vikings.
I feel like Brandon Lee, I would say martial
Yeah.
arts is in his blood.
Yeah. I don't think I'd say martial art. You know the Skarsgårds, famous martial artists turned actors?
Dude, you're going to watch Bill Skarsgård's new movie and you're going to believe me.
I'm sure I will.
It was honestly all of the crazy wire work and martial arts in The Northman that made me love it so much.
Let's do Tim. Let's give Tim a swing.
Timothy, Dune.
We ought to fail.
Dune,
Your
lock
wish
it
is
in.
my command. Dune, lock it in.
Bong bong.
Yeah, I honestly thought that because it's this game. Is he in Call Me By Your Name? Is he the other guy in Call Me By Your Name? Yeah.
But we should guess Little Women.
Okay. Little Women.
Okay, call me by. Let's do. Which one do you think we should guess? Do you think we should do both of them?
I haven't seen Call Me By Your Name yet. I have seen Little Women and I liked it quite a bit. But that doesn't typically translate to much in this game.
We're going to end up guessing both of these,
Yeah.
so let's just pick one to do.
Call Me By Your Name.
Call me by
Lock
your
it
name.
in.
Lock it in.
Bing, 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 bing. Number 1. This is
Little
the
Women, lock it in.
director of Challengers. New movie coming out.
Your new favorite.
You locked in another one just now?
Little Women. Lock it in.
Little Women.
Bong bong.
Do you think it's Wonka, the true story of how Willy got his Wonka?
I hope not. Ladybird, perhaps.
Yeah, probably Ladybird.
Let's go Ladybird.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Bing, 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 bing. Number 2. Number 1, Call Me by Your Name. Number 2,
Interstellar in
Ladybird.
there.
Number 3, Beautiful Boy.
Yeah,
With Steve
that makes sense.
Carell. Number 4, How Willie Got His Wonka.
That's crazy that it's already in
It's
his top
crazy that
4,
it's already
and
in his top.
Dune isn't.
You know Timothy Chalamet? Yeah, Paul Atreides? No, Willy
Wonka,
Wonka.
Wonka.
Could we get Flo Poo?
Ooh.
She has the same birthday as
I
my
honestly
wife. That's fun.
don't think so.
I mean, we didn't
But
get
we
Tim.
can give it a
so
shot. Yeah, let's give Florence Pugh a
Give
shot.
Flo Poo a shot. Midsummer, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Midsummer.
Lock it in.
Bong Bong.
That is insanity.
It's going to be Black Widow.
Sure, man. Yeah, why not? Black Widow. Lock it in.
Black Widow, lock it in.
Bong Bong.
Yeah, good. Honestly, that one's good. I'm glad that that's not there. Little Women.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
Small Girls, lock it in.
I forgot her and Tim have worked together before. Bong Bong.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. 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 So good. So good, dude. Yes.
Don't worry, darling.
Don't worry, darling.
Watch this. Don't worry,
Lock it
darling.
in.
Lock it in.
Bong Bong. Number 1,
Yeah.
The Falling. Number 2, Marcella.
Wow.
Number 3, Lady Macbeth. Number 4, The Commuter. The Commuter, 2018, Liam Neeson. What?
I've never heard
The
of
most
any of those
Is there
movies.
any chance you pulled up the wrong IMDb page?
No, dude. You know, I checked many times. I cannot believe.
How did you spell Florence?
Flowrinse. Florence.
Flo Rinse.
Javier Bardem.
Javi Bardem.
We can't win no matter what, so it doesn't matter.
No Country for Old Men.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Bing, 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 bing. Number 2, you have 3 points.
Beautiful.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Bing, 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 bing. Number 4, you have 4 points.
Dead men tell no tales.
Sure,
Lock it
man.
in.
Let's do it. Lock it in.
Bong Bong.
Skyfall.
Ooh.
Yeah. Skyfall. Lock it in.
Yeah. Skyfall. That's a good
Bing,
one.
bing, 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 bing. Number 1, Wild. Skyfall. No Country for Old Men.
That's pretty
The
crazy.
Sea
That's number 1
Inside.
for him.
And Beautiful.
What was
You
the third
got
one?
The Sea Inside.
Never even heard of that.
He plays Ramon
I don't even think that's real.
San Pedro.
I don't think that's probably real.
5 points. So, one of your worst ones.
All time, one of the worst. I don't think it's been a long time since we've full 0 for 4
Right?
riffed somebody.
Pew's was whoa,
Florence
wild.
Pugh is crazy. That is a wild top 4.
Unbelievable.
Midsummer is the only one I felt like for sure 100% would be there.
Yeah.
It wasn't. So
Absolutely. That's it. That's extra credit. Jordan, you had something you wanted to talk about? An experience, really, the
Yeah.
two of you shared just last night.
yeah, Doge and I have with our wives season tickets to Dallas Summer Musicals, which go all year long, not just the summer. So, maybe change the name. Actually, I think they have changed the name now that I think about
It's
it.
called Broadway Dallas now.
Yeah. But we
TGA on
have
Fridays. It's not open only on Fridays.
That's true. But we have season tickets, so we go see quite a few of the shows that come through. And last night we saw Beetlejuice, the musical, and I'd heard good things. I was excited to see it already, but I left that experience just completely enamored with that show.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
It's fantastic.
It is. It's so weird because I wouldn't say that I couldn't hum a single tune from the show outside of Daylight Come and Me Wanna Go Home. That's all I know because it's from the movie. But outside of that, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't hum a line from the musical. I don't feel like anybody's. The singers were great, but I don't feel like it was like standout vocal performances necessarily. They were fantastic, but it's not what I'm remembering. What I'm remembering is that I laughed for 2.5 straight hours, basically. It was like genuinely a comedy show carried, I would say, mostly by the actor that played the titular Beetlejuice.
It was fantastic.
And it's just like, it was kind of slapsticky. It was like pop culture referencey, but not in a pandering way. And just the guy that played Beetlejuice in our showing last night was just note perfect. Like voices and physical comedy, and his timing on his jokes were excellent. And there were tons of times where like he was kind of interacting with us as the audience and letting us laugh, and then like kind of hamming it up for a joke to let us laugh even longer. But even down to like the set design and the onstage projections and the lights, like it was just so tight. The show, I can't imagine the stress of programming that show and how much goes into like making sure that cues are hit. I mean, there were things like stuff he would do that was like magic, like Beetlejuice, where fire would appear at different spots on the stage when he would snap his fingers. And at one point he clones himself because he's lonely and he wants people to dance with. And so there's like 15 Beetlejuices on stage, and they're so perfectly synchronized, and it really looks like he is controlling what they do. I don't know. I was in awe mostly of just like the dedication to make sure everything went off without a hitch. But on top of that, just the humor present for the guy that played Beetlejuice was phenomenal. And I can't, Callie and I were talking about this last night. I can't imagine that the bar is much higher for the like actual Broadway version of playing Beetlejuice.
Yeah, versus the traveling.
I just feel like for him specifically, it can't really get much better.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Genuinely, I don't know how long it's in town for. I think this is the first week. If there's available tickets when you listen to this, just look and see if you can go, because it is worth it. It is so much fun.
Yeah, more than worth the price of admission for sure. I was skeptical, I think, of it, at least conceptually, because like, I don't know, sometimes it's like, here's a movie you loved in the 80s and now it's a musical, can feel a little cash grabby, but Beetlejuice worked really well for that. It got me thinking of like, I don't know, I was trying to think of what other kind of like pop culture property would be interesting to see a stage adaptation of.
Yeah.
I thought that might be an interesting thing for us to talk about.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys have any locked and loaded. I can go first.
Yeah.
So you guys have time to think of that. I think that in the style of the Beetlejuice musical, where it's like extremely reliant on like the AV tech and that kind of stuff, I think a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy musical, the first novel, would be the most fun in the world, mostly because I think Zaphod Beeblebrox would be a ton of fun on stage. But I think the whole thing would be super duper fun and could, I think it could transition, like it could carry that kind of energy of the modern comedy musical, I think, really well.
For sure. My immediate first thought was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
I just feel like
that'd be a lot of fun.
Having an anchor character who is like 98% of the personality is what made Beetlejuice so interesting.
Yeah. And especially with Ferris in the movie, Ferris being aware of the audience and breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think that could be really cool. You could do some fun stuff with the car. You could do a fun set piece with the car. And you could have a lot of fun with obviously the parade in downtown Chicago, the Donkashan scene.
Yeah.
All that stuff could be a total blast.
Yeah.
The like pre-start when they try and get your attention, usually there's creative ways to do that when you're at a Broadway show for people to get like pumped up and stuff. I can just imagine like lights dimming and it's just chicka chicka. And it's just like, oh,
yeah, for sure.
Comes.
Yeah.
That's fun.
The Beetlejuice version of that was a big neon like marquee sign that just said Beetlejuice, 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 and had a big arrow pointing to the stage. And
fun.
It basically, the vibe of the show was basically that Beetlejuice was secretly kind of hosting a variety show for us and telling us the story of what was going on in the house at the beginning.
Is it the story of the 1988 movie? Like, is it?
Yes and no. It mostly is.
Okay.
There's some added stuff. The stage production is double the length, basically, of the movie.
Sure.
So they had to add some stuff.
Yeah, the movie was like 90 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a quick one.
Which I'm really excited for Beetlejuice. That's 100% happening. And so the sequel to Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton and all. Couldn't do it without him.
No, you couldn't.
Wow.
First thing I thought about, and I'm just going to make it work, is we're going to have a rock opera of a complete retelling of the 1987 hit, The Running Man, which was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in which, in a dystopian America, this policeman is falsely convicted and gets a shot at freedom by being forced to participate in a TV game show where like convicts and other people are like, it's like Hunger Games type stuff. I think it's so bizarre. I think if I heard that there was going to be a musical based on The Running Man, I'm like, this is going to flop or it's going to be awesome. Either way, I want to be there.
Yeah.
And so I think if there's a way that they can pull that off, what an absolute blast. I grew up on that kind of stuff. I love those campy, like high stakes, quote unquote, like ridiculous. It's like Hollywood was figuring out what to do with muscles. We talked about this in our Day afternoon series. That it was just like, what do we do with muscles? How do
These
we do
guys,
this?
the guys got so big and strong now. What do we do?
Yeah. How do we do this? Can they have heart? Yeah, but not so much. Let's not do that.
It felt like the petroleum lobby reached out to Hollywood in the 1980s and was like, we've got so much grease and we don't know what to do with it. Do you guys want it? We'll fund your movies. And they were like, yeah, we can probably figure out something to do with it.
We found some strong guys.
What if we just
lather these boys up? And they did.
Yeah. Obviously, the toughest thing about that is like, how do you not have Arnold? Do you have somebody act like Arnold? I don't know. That's too hard.
Do you have somebody do an Arnold impression?
It's also like, because it's not someone trying to be Beetlejuice, because Beetlejuice is its own character. Arnold was always Arnold.
That is the other thing I would say. I did not feel like this was a Michael Keaton impression. I felt like this was like Beetlejuice is a character that I'm doing now, which is fun. Mm-hmm. I appreciate when it's just like, nope, it's its own thing.
What a wonderful revisit for Michael Keaton. I was looking at his credits. Mr. Mom is really the only thing that would even be like familiar to half of the people listening to this podcast, but that was the only thing he really had done of any kind of note before Beetlejuice. Tim Burton just plucks this dude out and makes Beetlejuice. I remember that there was a cartoon for Beetlejuice, and I just thought that Beetlejuice was like
that.
And it just came out of Tim Burton's head, and he throws that together. But everybody's back: Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, and then we add Jenna Ortega, who's playing Winona Ryder's daughter.
Fun.
So excited for this.
I didn't realize Beetlejuice was the year before Batman. He hadn't even been Batman
crazy?
Yet. That's crazy.
Just back to talk about like some breadth.
Yeah,
like,
for
grief,
real.
Dude.
Jeez, 88, 89 is a good time to be Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Jeez.
I was looking to see Multiplicity is after all of this. I was looking to see when that one was. That's 1996. That was the other Michael Keaton movie I saw as like a young man.
Mm-hmm. He's a great actor. I love Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I do too.
But that's going to be a lot of fun. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Oh, Beetlejuice.
It was great.
It really was a blast.
For real, if you have availability, it is 100% more than worth the price of admission. It's fantastic.
We're up in the nosebleeds and it was still fun.
I'm thinking
so
maybe
even
March
if the seats are
1st,
bad.
dude. I got nothing going on.
Nothing going on March 1st.
We'll see Beetlejuice.
Go see Beetlejuice, dude. Anyway, that's our show. That's our podcast.
Thanks for listening to it.
Thank you for listening. We really appreciate you. Obviously, jump on Patreon, do all that stuff. To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name. And you've heard of Desert Island, like movies and TV shows and books. I'd like for you to give me your name and tell me your desert planet movie. If you had to go be stranded on Arrakis with only one movie to watch, what movie would that be and why?
Also, while we're deliberating in our own minds what this movie might be, I have a challenge for our listeners. If you have someone in your life that you feel like they flex all the time, all they know about movies, like, wow, the cineheads out there that are just like, challenge me with anything, give them Florence Pugh's known for on IMDb. Let's just see what happens.
Make them play a single actor extra credit with.
You say, hey, all you got to do is get one point.
For Two Chunks and a Hunk, I'm Jordan, and I think I'm going to go. I haven't seen this movie in a long, long time. So maybe that's part of it. I would just be willing to watch it because I haven't seen it in forever, but I feel like I can watch it over and over again and still find it funny, which is important when your surroundings are as desolate as the planet of Arrakis. So my desert planet movie will be Hot Rod.
Ooh. I think comedy's the way to go.
I think so too.
Comedy has to be the way to go.
I think so too.
I'm Doge. Maybe just because it's on the brain. I really think Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one I wouldn't get tired of. I think I would watch it over and over and over again. I did spend a little bit of time trying to find any movies with snake charmers in them. There's none really there, but I thought maybe I could try to charm a sandworm with the snake charmer skills I learned from my snake charmer movie, but I guess I'll just go with Ferris Bueller.
I'm pretty sure
that's fine.
In Master of Disguise, Dana Carvey plays a snake charmer character for like 10 seconds.
It's pretty horribly offensive, I think, when he does it. So
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I doubt it's respectful.
I don't think I would want the worms to think I was not a very like inclusive person or didn't care about different cultural experience. I want the worms to respect me more than fear me.
Yeah. I'm Carter, and Schindler's List. No.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm going to take, because I've never seen it. And I figured, why not?
So now I'll see only it.
I got time. I finally have time.
The Birdcage.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that in years, and I really hope that it holds up because it's been a long time. But man, boy, howdy. I used to love
that movie. Yeah.
It's great.
None of us brought Dune 1. We probably should have just brought Dune 1.
Can you imagine that being the only thing you can watch for the rest? Well, that would be so exhausting.
For real.
If you could get there before the timeline of Dune 1, you could probably stop a lot of atrocity.
It's like early edition. I got tomorrow's newspaper. I got tomorrow's Dune paper today.
Ooh.
Nice. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know who that's for. I don't know who knows what early edition is who's also listening to our podcast.
Mostly just you, probably.
You will when you edit it and stuff, and you're gonna laugh.
Yeah, that's for me. Doge. Hey, Doge, that one's for you, buddy.
Doge, you just clever dog.
Stick it in there. Episode's almost over. You're about to be able to upload it.
Thanks for coming.
That's how you get clicks.
Get clicks.